Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Dallas Stars franchise mode here in NHL 20. So in last episode we had free agency and we started up the season simulation, and as you can see so far we're 20, 11, 6, and 1, mainly due to a point streak that we had in December. Like, as you can see, actually it was part of November as well. We won a bunch of games to end November, and we also had one tie, but then we continued that trend all the way up to right here. So we probably had around points in 10 or 11 straight. I'm not going to count, but yeah, our team has been performing pretty well, and I'm hoping that we can continue that. We might make a trade in this episode because we do need to kind of upgrade our third line center spot, because at the moment we're playing Franzen, who's a 79 there. So we'll see how that works out, but at the moment there was nobody on the block because I looked after last episode to see if there was anybody out there. And there's not really anybody that matches our system that well, or that would be much of an upgrade from Franzen. So yeah, we're gonna just continue the sim and see how we do. We're probably gonna wait right till the trade deadline to make a trade if necessary. Hopefully this team doesn't all of a sudden lose a bunch of games, because we just did have a really good winning streak and point streak. So like, I'm fine with us being consistent, and like in terms of like bouncing around between wins and losses a bit, but at the same time I would rather us just win a bunch. So Until has been injured for the second time this season. He seems to be a bit of an injury prone player, probably because he's more of a skilled guy. He probably doesn't have the greatest physical attributes. So Knights is now going to replace him in that third line, and he also will replace him on the power play unit, I guess. Doesn't really matter too much. The only game or two games that Knights has played as a depth guy so far this season, he actually put up a goal, so he's actually not that bad to have on our power play unit. So there we go. He's a good shooter, apparently. And I think that's almost it. 3-on-3 as well. I should have just put it in, replacing all lines, but whatever. Currently, Slegger is injured, but he might actually be returning. Yeah, he actually might be returning. Let's see. Yep. So Yuri Slegger is back, which is kind of good. He's not been the greatest defenseman. Like, I mean, we could end up using Zubov instead in the lineup. But Zubov is now -2, so we'll take Zubov back out. Zubov is better suited, I think, for that top 4 than the top 6. That is 76 overall, so there you go. Slayer back in. Let's see if we can get some more wins together. And like I said, we might make a trade to upgrade that third line center spot, because that's my main concern, I think, with this team at the moment. Because our defense has been pretty solid, and then our offense has been really good still so far, except for like that third line, really, and fourth line. So Antilla is back. That's great news, because Antilla had a pretty good rookie season last year. I think he had like 20 goals. So hopefully he could maybe hit 30 this year. I don't think he will with the injuries. He does have 17 goals in 38 games, but only 4 assists. Damn. Like, this guy's a pure shooter, and then Drake is a pure playmaker. So it's kind of interesting to have both of them on the same line. Like, hopefully those two guys are in our top 6 in the future. Like, Drake could technically play on our second line, but he's better suited for our third line, so yeah, this team's doing not too bad. We're in a wild card spot, which is kind of weird, but our division is pretty strong, like it is year in and year out. Game against Los Angeles is a loss, 4-2. That's not that good. Game against Pittsburgh, 6-4 loss. There's back-to-back losses and 3 losses in last 4. It's not good. Come on, boys. We lose again. And game against Chicago is a win, okay. Now we have like a week off between games. Hopefully that doesn't bite us in the butt, but it is the All-Star break, I think. Game against Toronto and Winnipeg to end the month. 2 divisional teams. And Sandis Ozolinsh has been injured, so that's going to put in Zubov on the top 4, which is good because that's actually where he fits, but sucks to lose Ozolinsh. He's a big piece on that top 4. We do beat Toronto, but we lose to Winnipeg, so we are 26, 17, 6, and 2 at February the 1st. Do we want to make any trades yet? I don't think so. Let's just take a quick look. So 58 points. We are 8 points above the last wildcard spot. And then in the Pacific Division, the best team that's out of a playoff spot has 47 points, so we're technically 11 points above them. So yeah, I think I'm not going to make any trades just yet. Our top line is still playing really well, which is a good sign. That top line has been pretty consistent in the last 2 or 3 seasons since we got Clancy into the lineup. So we'll go right to the... Let's go 1 week at a time. Actually, maybe no. We'll go right to the trade deadline, just because I want to make sure there's still good people out there, at least on the trading block, because we do need to find that kind of perfect fit for that third line for me to make a trade, I think. I don't really need a depth guy. I'm assuming that guy's a depth guy for a first-round pick. 700K for 1 year, and this guy's a bottom 6 forward, but it's for a first-round pick. That seems kind of weird. Let me just take a look. How good is this guy? 77, but he's probably... No, the morale's not on. It's for a 77 that fits my top line. That is really weird. I don't even know if that guy actually is good or not, because there's no morale in this. So I have no idea if that guy is just a low overall that somehow could fetch a first overall pick. Or not first overall, first round pick. So Michael Nylander, no, that's actually a different Nylander, and 2/4 head to Pittsburgh for Cruz in the third. And Sandis Ozolinsh is back. We did just beat Tampa Bay 6-1. So even without Ozolinsh, we could have some good offense. And Zubov has got 7 points in 11 games. I'm debating about keeping Zubov there and then taking out somebody like Slegger or Saleh. But I don't know if that's really that good to put Ozolinsh on the top 6. Because, Zubov has been fantastic as a depth guy, but he is kind of weak in terms of overall. But he does put up a decent amount of points. We might still make some line changes if we go to the playoffs, which I'm pretty sure we will. Unless we just blow the second half, which we've done before. But we've won 2 games in a row to start off February, which is good. We just want to make sure we could get that playoff spot at least. There's another trade, Pispinen in the 4th and a 5th for Bochenski and Ebbett. Okay, we do lose in overtime to Quebec and lose to Hartford. Come on, guys. Bounce back, please. 2 firsts for Hodges and Chiodo. No, thank you. Those guys are probably nothing I need. We did just lose 3 games in a row now. Watch, we're going to actually choke because I just mentioned it. But yeah, I'm going to probably look for a third line center, I think, just because I feel like our team needs an upgrade, at least in that spot. Even if we are simulating well. We do just beat Quebec in overtime there, and there's another overtime game. We've had 3 overtime games in our last 5. And 2 of them resulted in losses. Game against Los Angeles. Come on, boys. We don't want to lose a lot of games down the stretch. It's a tie. I'll take it. I'm not going to read all these trades because a lot of these are not even real players anymore. Nobody that you guys probably care about and that I care about. The only ones I care about are the ones on our team. So Philippe Boucher, that's a real player at least, and Patrick Poulin head to Pittsburgh for 2 younger prospects, it looks like. Oleg Tverdovsky, Robert Cron, and Maxim Galanov head to Detroit for some Franzen goalie and a first-round pick. So Detroit looks like they are done their rebuild and that they're going to be a really good team. Well, actually, they were last year because they were almost a President's Trophy winning team and we knocked them out in the first round. So Detroit might be a cup contender this year. Last few games before we get to the deadline. Frantisek Haberle and Jamie Sordif, I don't know how to pronounce it, go to New York for Bobkov and Dean Nicola. Shane Reed on waivers. Who is this? 77 top 6. I mean, this guy would probably be a good depth defender, but I don't think we really need him. Because I would rather use Zubov. We do beat Germany 4-1 and game against the Blues to end this month, pretty much. Torres in a 4 for a first and Salvador. Interesting. And we beat the Blues in overtime 4-3. So we're 32-27-4 at the deadline. I think I still want to upgrade that spot, even though I think Franzen has been simulating really well. Wong has 80 points already at the deadline, so he probably will be reaching 100 points this season, I think. At least that's my guess. So Franzen's been pretty solid, but he's a -9, which I don't want. Yeah, Mike Modano's been a better fit on that fourth line, I think. So we are going to be trading, I think, for a third line center if there's somebody available. Because, yeah, this third line is definitely taking a hit since we just last looked at it in terms of plus minus. So let's see if there's anything out there for that third line center role. Somebody that's maybe a bit more defensively minded, or just in general, somebody that's got like an 82 overall. Damn, Hodges is an 86. That's pretty good. We're getting offered him. He only fits our fourth line. There's got to be somebody out there. When I say that, I feel like it just reminds me of that one song for some reason. Jason Arnott still, but he's probably way too good to bring in for that. There's got to be somebody that's like an 83 or an 82. Nick Lidstrom on the block. That'd be kind of interesting, but I don't think he really matches our system that well. He fits our top four and stuff like that, but I don't really feel like we need him. I might actually have to look at all of the players on rosters and find somebody that's not even on the block. Because we do need to find that good fit for our team. Doesn't really matter if they're on the block or not. Yeah, there is nobody on the block that actually matches that third line center role that we need. So we're going to have to take a look through all teams and see who they have in terms of their centers. So let's go to centers, sort by overall. 81 is not the greatest. I want like an 82. Smolinski's an 81, but he's going to be dropping off. How is Lemieux simulating as a 78? Wow, he's been pretty good. Bad minus though, and he's in Boston, which is gross. I don't like that at all. There's actually a lot of weak center cores around the league. Vincent Dumfus, 81 overall. Doesn't fit any of our lines. Gainey doesn't fit any of our lines. Goddamn. There's got to be somebody that's like an 82 that fits our scheme. Jean-Luc Foudy fits only our penalty kill lines. Vatanen fits only our second line. There might not be anybody. Nabokov fits our bottom 6 forward lines, but does not fit any special teams, which is okay. But he's got 3 years left. I don't really like contracts that are longer than a year, even if we don't have caps, like maximum caps. Also, if my audio is having any problems, let me know, because right now I've seen a couple of spikes. Staples, only your second line. Detroit's probably not going to want to give up any of these guys anyways. 83, Wyman. 5 years left. That's a long contract, but he is a 28-year-old only. Wait, who's this 83? Oh, the Roenick guy that I saw in free agency. Only forward line 1. Come on. I know this episode is going to be long just because I'm looking through this, and I apologize if this part's long and boring. Bengtson I was looking at, but we don't really have any idea. Oh, he fits all our forward lines, but doesn't fit anywhere else. He'd be a good player to have on a power play unit, but... Jeffrey on... He does fit our third line, but I don't know if Hartford's willing to give him up. He has 1 year left. Let's just take a look at Hartford. No, Hartford's doing really well, so they're going to want to keep him around. Just does not make sense. I don't want to cheat computer out of that. Robert Lang. Robert Lang, actually, hopefully he fits, please. Robert Lang. He does fit all forward lines. We don't have to use him on our special teams. But he does have a good chunk of value. Like I was saying, we could trade away somebody like Knights, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. Alright, let's just go Skaters matching block. So I'm definitely not trading Riley. Let's see, somebody that has a good chunk. Varakis, I don't know. I could trade away one of these top 6 forward prospects potentially. Like Danny Fitzgerald is already 22. I mean, he only is in his second season in the AHL, and he's having a pretty good year. Or do I want to trade somebody like Austin who might not make it? I feel like Austin's the type to not make it because he was a late first rounder. Yeah, I think I'm going to trade away Austin. Even though Austin is a place in Texas and it would be kind of cool to have. I think I could trade away Austin and get Lang for 1 year. And then we would also have to take back something else in terms of trade value. Like maybe a 3rd rounder. Is that too much to ask? Austin for Lang and a 3rd? Let's try this out. Isn't sufficient at all, probably because of the 3rd rounder. How about a 4th? That should get it done. Still rejected. Lang's only going to be playing on our 3rd line this year, so we don't have to probably give up too much. A 5th? There you go. So we're going to have to send somebody down, but I'm probably going to lean towards trading away somebody like Knights. Yeah, I'm going to probably trade away Knights. So welcome aboard, Robert Lang, for our 3rd line. And we're going to have to trade away Knights in that sense, just because I want to have Zubov still as a depth defender in the NHL. So Knights, who is interested in Knights? Let's send Knights to, I was going to say to the Knights, but the Knights aren't in this. Let's just go for a draft pick. A 2nd rounder, can I get a 2nd rounder for Knights? I might be able to, but they have over the Skaters. Rangers don't want them. Pittsburgh. Anybody want to give me a 2nd rounder for some guy that I'm not going to be using? Over 50 Skaters. Quebec. Let's see, a 2nd. They don't want to give up a 2nd, but let's see if this goes through. Rejected. Okay, so we might only be able to take back a 3rd and a 4th or something, which is not bad either. So 3rd and a 4th for Knights. Actually, maybe just a 3rd. Yeah, 3rd for Knights is fine. Why not? There you go. So Knights is gone, but that's only because we had to upgrade to Robert Lang. So Robert Lang's going to be playing as our 3rd line center, and Franzen's now going to be a depth center as well with Martinson for the season. And then Zubov will be our depth defender. So I think that's a pretty good pickup, because Robert Lang, even though he is 37, he is a better upgrade in terms of overall. He's been playing pretty solid. He's like a consistent 60-point player. And has he won a Stanley Cup? It looks like he might have gone pretty far, but never won one. So there you go. Robert Lang is now on the team, and that does upgrade our 3rd line a lot. So yeah, hopefully that does pretty good. Let's actually just make sure he's not on any other lines, because he doesn't really fit any of our special teams. So special team wise, is he on anything else? Actually, let me go to his player thing. Does it say now if he's a good fit on anything else? No, it doesn't. He's a better fit actually on our 2nd line, but I don't really have anywhere I could play him on the 2nd line. So we'll leave it like that. And yeah, let's get the rest of the season done. I think that should help us out a bit in terms of defensive play and stuff, because like Robert Lang in real life, if you guys don't know, was a pretty good like playmaker, kind of 2-way kind of guy, I think. Well, actually, maybe not a 2-way kind of guy. I think his plus minus wasn't that good, but he was a really good like playmaker at least. Like he had 700 career points, and Mike Modano's been injured, so we're gonna have to put Franzen into his spot. So just like that, Franzen's back in the lineup. So Franzen, there you go. Franzen's actually not a bad fit either for that 4th line, because that's where he started the year. Okay, so we won and we tied. Let's go to the end of the season. Let's just get the rest of the season done in this one chunk of sim. And hopefully Lang puts up some decent numbers with us and helps us out in terms of the playoffs if we get there. We did just drop 2 straight games. And there's a tie with New Jersey. Mike Modano is back. Maybe that was because Franzen was in. Like, Franzen's a good player to have. Like, he's a good face-off man, but at the same time, he's not necessarily the greatest defensively, it seems like. Game against Edmonton is another loss. Come on, guys. Get your heads out of your asses and get the rest of the season done. There's a win over Toronto. There we go. Now we're winning some games, 3 in a row. And there's a loss to Chicago. We just want to at least clinch that playoff spot. Lose 2 in a row with no goals and lose 3 in a row. Lose 4 in a row. What the heck is going on with this team? Okay, so we got 6 games left, I think. Okay, so let's take a quick look. How has everybody been? We're 81 points. Last wildcard spot has 78. Worst team in that division that's not in the playoff spot has 75. So we might actually be in a pretty good spot still. But let's get at least some wins to kind of clinch that playoff spot. I don't want to just barely make it again, unless we're going to be one of those teams that win a cup again. 2 games, Sweden and San Jose. Can we win them both? We lose to Sweden and we win against San Jose, which has not clinched us the playoff spot yet. Game against the Blues on home ice. Come on, boys. Lose 5-2. Damn, we've been struggling lately when we're still in the wildcard spot. We have not clinched. Everybody else has clinched in our division. Let's take a look at the Pacific. The worst team not in the playoff spot has 77, so we are very close to clinching. More than likely we'll clinch, but hopefully this team doesn't keep losing a bunch of games down the stretch. But then again, maybe we'll turn it around in the playoffs. Game against the Flyers, 4-2 win. There you go. That clinches us our playoff spot. We have punched our ticket to the postseason. That's in the AHL. Doesn't really matter. Last 2 games, a loss and another loss. So we kind of struggled near the end, and the Blackhawks ended up actually making it. So 5 teams from our division, but we did make the playoffs, so I'm kind of happy with that. We finished 38, 31, and 9 technically with 85 points. Okay. Let's take a look at our player stats and also the standings, and then we will get into who we're facing in the first round. But let's take a look, make sure everybody's played all their games. No, not everybody has. Let's get that done. Okay, that should be good. Yep. Okay, so Wong actually didn't break 100 points, so he kind of slowed down in terms of his production a lot since the trade deadline, because he already had like 80 points at the deadline. But yeah, he still finishes with 88 points, which is not too bad. Plus 27 as well, so pretty good defensively. Lundell, 50 points. Okay, so he's kind of dropping in production as well a bit, I think. Yeah, he dropped down in production a lot, but he was still pretty solid. He actually had a really good playoffs last year. Robert Lang, how did you do with us? 11 points in 19 games and a +5, so pretty good pickup, I think. Hopefully he continues that. Franzen, 26 points in 67 games, but a -8. Medano, 18 points, but a -3. Yeah, Medano wasn't as good this year. This is probably his last year in the NHL, so maybe we could get him one more cup. Who knows? Left wing-wise, Sidor had 68 points and a +20. DeSantis, 49. Drake, 41. And McArdle, 23 in his first season. Not too bad. The plus-minus could be a bit better for these 3 guys. Right wingers, Clancy had 61 points, which is a career best. So he's now at 198 career points. Nice. Holig, 51 points, and Till, 40 points and 27 goals. Despite missing a couple games due to injury, he almost still hit 30 goals. He's been pretty good in terms of scoring. And Ewan, 19 points. Defensively, oh my god, Pavelski, 55 points. As an undrafted defenseman, he one-upped last year. Jeez. 33 points to 55. He's got 88 career points in his first 2 seasons. I'm really liking this guy, and I wish this franchise mode didn't have only like 10 seasons left in it so I could see his entire career, but damn, this guy's amazing. Ozolin's 34 points, Helmer 19 points and a +17. Soleil and Patrick both at 12 points. Patrick's been kind of underwhelming for an offensive defenseman, so I don't know what we do with him going down the stretch, or down the road. And Slager, 11 points. I don't know if it sends Zubov down to the minors. Yeah, I think it actually did send Zubov down to the minors. Yeah, it did. We're going to have to call up Zubov for the playoffs, so he's our depth defender. I don't know why it sent him down still. Probably because of that trade I made for Lang. And both of our goalies were not too bad. I mean, the rest of the league probably has some worse goalies, but they could have been a bit better, these goalies, but at least Depenta improved upon last year, because last year was abysmal for him. Let's take a look at the entire league for points, and then we'll get into the standings stuff. So Eric Lindros led the league in points with 119 points. Kind of realistic, because Lindros was a really good player in his prime, but this is near the end of his career. Foot, 118 points, and then Yashin, 110, Bure, 108. Yager still 107 at 36 years of age. Okay. Who led in goals this year? Jaromir Jagr with 58. Him and Eric Lindros are going to probably share the Maurice Richard, which is kind of neat. Don't see that happen every year. Best plus minus, Cop Stalls with Philadelphia. Okay, it doesn't really matter about anything else, I think. Let's just actually check PIMS for fun. 244 for Jason Smith. Yikes. Okay, let's take a look at defensive points. Humphreys with 74 points is going to edge out Nicholas Lidstrom, who's 37 years old but still put up 70 points. But Pavelski was 4th in defensive scoring as an undrafted defenseman, so hopefully he becomes the first undrafted defenseman to win a Norris, because I don't think that actually happened ever in real life. Unless I'm mistaken, but I don't think that has happened before. Goalie-wise, the best goalie for wins was Agu Zane with 46 wins. Most shutouts this season was Korolyuk with 8 in Hartford, so Hartford's a really good team, I guess, this season. Save percentage-wise by a starter would be Kiprusoff with a 914, but Montador and stuff had a really good season for a backup. This guy went 17-1. Jeez, and he's only a 78 overall. Okay, interesting. Best goals against per game was also Moz as a backup, but the best by a starter was Korolyuk. Korolyuk might end up winning the Vezina because he had the most shutouts, and he also played 72 games this year. So this guy played a lot of hockey. In terms of rookie skaters, the best rookie for points was Viverios with 68, and then Davidson with 57, Gordon with 53. And rookie goalies, just for fun, was Jonathan Boyle, who looks like he was a starter this year, as a 70 overall. Yikes. Buffalo playing a 70 overall that much. That's not good. Okay, let's take a look at the standings quickly, and then we'll see who we're playing in round number 1 as we look to defend our title. Okay, so entire league standings, we finished. We kind of dropped off near the end, so we're probably not too good. We finished 12th in the league. I think we finished around there last season as well, if I'm not mistaken. Goals for per game, we kind of struggled actually in terms of offense. Yeah, we were one of the worst offensive teams, like maybe top 10 for worst. 3.11 per game. Goals against per game, we were one of the best. We were top 10 in terms of defense, so we're a pretty good defensive team. And then power play percentage, we kind of struggled as well, so that's probably why our offense wasn't that good. Because we were only, where is it? Only at 17.9%, maybe around the middle. And our penalty kill was really bad, second worst in the league. Yet we still made the playoffs, and we had still one of the best defensive teams, so that's kind of weird. Okay, and what about our home record? What was our home record this season? Out of curiosity, because I didn't check that. 20-14-5-2, and then we were not as good on the road. 18-17-4-2, and we're 2-8 in our last 10. But you know what they say, if you go really good into the playoffs, then you get swept usually, or if you play really bad going into the playoffs, sometimes you end up like just being a really good team. So hopefully that helps for us. Let's see who we're up against in round number 1. Who is it going to be? It's going to be the Detroit Red Wings. So we have a rematch of the first round last year. So last year Detroit had 108 points, and we managed to beat them in round 1. And then we moved on and knocked out the President's Trophy winning teams. So this should be interesting. They might have a similar team to last year as well. So it's us in Detroit, Toronto and St. Louis, Sweden and Anaheim, Calgary and Chicago, Philly and Tampa, Florida and the Islanders, Hartford and Pittsburgh, and Ottawa, Montreal. Let's take a quick look at Detroit's lines, and then that'll be it, because this episode's pushing 30 minutes already, I think. So Detroit, what do they got? So Goldman, Lapierre, and Vyacheslav Kozlov. That's still a pretty good first line. These two are really good. Kozlov is pretty good. He's listed as a second liner, but he is dropping off due to age. Robert Cron is kind of a weak link to have there for overall wise. But I mean, he was pretty good this season still for points. At least with Detroit. 16 points in 20 games he played. Severette as well is more of a third liner, but still pretty good. Roach, 80 overall, is kind of weak. Yeah, they don't really actually have as good of a team as they did last year, I think. Third line, Reimer, Shantz, and Jenkins. Fourth line, Darren McCarty still playing, as well as Braden Stewart and Caden Staples. Defensively, they got Tverdovsky, who they picked up, I believe, at the deadline. Yep, 16 points in 20 games, so they did pick up some good pieces. him with Lou Weaver. Then you got John Slaney, who we played with us for a bit, and Camden Oda. They also have Amir Gibson and Zachariah Alos. Terms of goaltending, they got Chris Osgood still, so Osgood's been there the entire time, and then Aiden Bomick. As for depth, they have Maxim Galanov, who I believe they also picked up as depth, and then Adi Rajala and Stefan Sedin. So overall wise, I'm not really a huge fan of their team. Like, I mean, they do have these two stud players, and then they also have, I guess, Tverdovsky, who was pretty good with them. But overall wise, they don't really have a lot of good stud players, but it could be just Osgood, who's a good simulator, maybe. Yeah, it could be just Osgood, potentially. Let's see, how did he do this year? Yeah, it could be Osgood. I don't know. But this team is kind of a weird team. Then again, last year, like I said, they almost won the President's Trophy, so we don't know. Maybe they will simulate well for that low of an overall team, but I think we do have the upper hand, considering we just won the Cup. Let's actually take a quick look at what their overalls compared to us. Yeah, I don't care about our AHL game, because I'm just curious of who's got better. So we got 94 offense, they got 89 offense. We got 91 defense, they got 87 defense. And then we got 84 goalies and 82 goalies for Detroit. So we're a lot better of a team in all positions, apparently. Hopefully we could end up beating them for the second straight season. That'd be nice. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Dallas Stars franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to round 1 against the Detroit Red Wings as we look to defend our title and go to the second round again. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.